Imagine, friends, a sniper who, without any reason, kills 29 people in just a few minutes. And the most shocking part, even the FBI fails to find any solid clue about him. So who is this killer, and why is he doing all this? The name of the film is To Catch a Killer. Hello, friends. I'm Sam, and you're watching Know the Story Global. Before starting the video, I have a small request. If you're new to this channel, then please subscribe to the channel. The story begins on a festive night in Baltimore, 31st December. The entire city is immersed in New Year's celebrations. People are dancing on rooftops, fireworks are exploding in the sky, and happiness fills the atmosphere everywhere. But suddenly, in the middle of this joy, a reign of death begins. An unknown sniper, firing from somewhere far away, starts firing one perfectly aimed shot after another. Everything is planned so carefully that even the sound of the gunshots gets drowned out by the fireworks. Not only on the rooftops, but inside the building, in elevators and inside rooms, people start collapsing everywhere. Within moments, the celebration turns into pure terror. This is where Eleanor Falco enters, a police officer who is on duty at that very moment. As soon as she hears about the incident, she immediately jumps into action. Reaching the ground, she joins the rescue operation. There, she meets Detective Mackenzie, who is analyzing the bullet trajectory with the help of lasers. The investigation reveals that all the shots were fired from a specific room in a single building. Just when the team is about to reach that location, a massive explosion occurs there, meaning the killer also erased every trace of his presence. During the building evacuation, Eleanor secretly records the faces of everyone leaving the building because she feels the killer might still be hiding among the crowd. But even after searching inside, no solid evidence is found. Amid the smoke and chaos, Eleanor loses consciousness and later receives medical treatment. A little later, the FBI team arrives at the scene and scans the entire area. Even sniffer dogs are used. But the result? Zero. No fingerprints, no weapon, no clue. Now the investigation is handed over to Senior Agent Lamarck. He briefs his team. This is no ordinary case. 29 people are dead, yet the killer has not left behind a single trace. Meanwhile, while talking with a colleague, Eleanor presents an interesting theory. According to her, the killer could be a psychopath who is committing these murders to find relief from some inner emotional pain. Lamarck overhears this and becomes impressed by Eleanor's thinking. The next morning, Lamarck calls Eleanor to a coffee shop. There, he offers her a place on his team. He believes Eleanor's mindset can help solve the case. This is also where Mackenzie officially joins them. The investigation moves forward. CCTV footage, building staff, everyone is checked. It turns out the building had been abandoned for a long time and people had only come there for the party. Also, one caretaker is missing. The ballistics report reveals another shocking detail. The killer used an old military sniper rifle, the XM-21, so old that there's barely any proper record of it in the database, meaning the weapon may have come from retired military stock. Eleanor suggests they should track where such weapons had been transferred over the years. The team visits the morgue to examine the victims' bodies, and another truth comes out. Every victim was killed with only one shot, almost as if the killer wanted them to die without suffering much pain. Mackenzie suspects this is the work of a trained shooter, probably ex-military. But one thing also becomes clear. This doesn't feel like personal revenge. It's something else entirely. Suddenly, news arrives that a suspect has been found. The team immediately rushes to the location, where counterterrorism officer Frank is already leading the operation. According to him, a suspicious man has locked himself inside a room and is threatening to kill everyone. But the situation spirals out of control. When the police storm the room, the man jumps and commits suicide. After investigation, it's discovered that the man was innocent. He didn't even possess a weapon. Lamarck becomes furious. Their first major lead has completely failed, and an innocent life has been lost. After this, the team starts the investigation again from zero. They interrogate painters who had worked in the building. One was busy with his family, another had left the job long ago, but the third man seems a little suspicious. He had recently been practicing shooting. Even after questioning all three painters, nothing concrete is found. One had a broken hand, which prevented him from continuing work, and the other two also appeared normal. Still, following procedure, the team collects DNA and fingerprints from their drinking glasses, because in this case, even the smallest detail could be important. Meanwhile, Eleanor gets transferred into the FBI, where she undergoes a medical checkup. The reports reveal iron deficiency, along with some other health issues. When Lamarck finds out that Eleanor hid the report from him earlier, he becomes very angry. His harsh words deeply hurt Eleanor. That night, while Eleanor is sadly heading home, Lamarck offers her a ride and apologizes for his rude behavior. At first, Eleanor vents her anger, but eventually she agrees to go with him. During dinner at Lamarck's house, he discusses some personal matters with Eleanor. Her medical history reveals that she once struggled with drug addiction. It also turns out she had previously tried joining the FBI, but was rejected because her mental condition was considered unstable. Childhood trauma had severely affected her life. Showing her scars on her hands, Eleanor explains how much suffering she has endured. She says joining the police force was not just a job for her, it was a way to save herself. Lamarck begins to believe that perhaps Eleanor's mindset matches the killer's in some way, and that's why she may be able to understand him. The next day, people are shopping and eating inside a shopping mall. Suddenly, a strange man in the restroom begins removing his clothes and cleaning himself. Security guards are called, but when they try to stop him, the entire situation changes instantly. The man suddenly pulls out a gun and starts firing without warning. Chaos erupts everywhere. People begin falling, and within moments the mall turns into a battlefield. This is the same killer. When the FBI arrives, everyone is shocked by the destruction. One man alone has caused so much devastation. CCTV footage shows him throwing away his dirty shirt into a dustbin before leaving. His face is unclear, but Eleanor notices something important from his body language. He had only come there to eat, but when the guard stopped him, he lost control. Now they're left with only one piece of evidence, the shirt. But they discover that the cleaners already sent it to the dump yard along with the garbage. Lamarck immediately sends Eleanor and Mackenzie there. Meanwhile, the city mayor starts pressuring the investigation team, and the decision is made to broadcast the CCTV footage on television. Public help is requested. Many calls come in, and then one call shakes everyone. A man claims to be the killer. He says he hates America and will continue his mission. He also claims that he has helpers working with him. The team immediately traces his location and reaches a supermarket. Lamarck and his team secretly enter the building. Eleanor and Mackenzie go inside pretending to be a couple. After spotting a few suspicious people, they assumed those are the targets. But the moment they take action, the suspects also pull out guns and start firing. A dangerous shootout begins, and in the end, everyone dies. But later they discover it was all just a prank call. Those people were simply pretending to be heroes. Because of one stupid prank call, so many lives are lost, and this failure puts even more pressure on Lamarck. The higher authorities become furious, and when they learn about Eleanor's past, they begin questioning Lamarck even more. Lamarck defends Eleanor, saying she's the most capable officer on the team. But nobody listens, and both of them are removed from the case. After such a huge humiliation, Lamarck completely breaks down, but Eleanor refuses to give up. She continues the investigation on her own. That's when she discovered that one of the painters had lied. He had sent someone else in his place to do the job. Eleanor immediately goes to his house. At first, he denies everything. But under pressure, he finally tells the truth. He reveals that in exchange for money and food, he had hired a man named Dean to work for him. Dean was a strange man, a vegetarian, even though he once worked in a butcher shop. But now, even the sight of meat made him feel sick. The team creates his sketch and begins searching through butcher shops. Finally, one place recognizes him, Dean Posk. There they learn that Dean used to be a very quiet and simple man. But one day, a man died, and everyone suspected Dean was responsible. After that incident, he left the job and disappeared. Now, Eleanor and Lamarck reach his house. They discover that his father was a shooting instructor, which explains where Dean got his perfect shooting skills from. Just then, Dean's mother notices them. At first, she refuses to say anything, but later, emotionally overwhelmed, she reveals the truth. During childhood, Dean had accidentally been shot, and the incident severely damaged his mental state. Even the army rejected him, and after that, he completely fell apart. While this conversation is happening, Eleanor notices something outside. Seeing 2 cups placed on the table, she realizes that Dean is nearby. She warns Lamarck, but by then it's already too late. From a distance, Dean fires a shot with his sniper rifle and Lamarck gets hit. He collapses on the spot. Eleanor freezes in shock, but Dean's mother stops her, saying, "Don't move, otherwise my son will kill you too." Trusting Eleanor, Dean's mother takes the gun from her and goes outside, trying to convince her son. "Son, surrender. The police haven't come to kill you. They've come to help and treat you." But Dean remains unaffected. His eyes are filled only with hatred and darkness. Her mother realizes perhaps her son can never return to who he once was. And with that unbearable pain, she takes a step that shocks everyone. She takes her own life. Seeing this, Dean comes out, holding the sniper rifle, directly aiming at Eleanor. Inside the room, Eleanor stands terrified, but Dean doesn't shoot her. Instead, he places his weapon on the table. Slowly, Eleanor starts talking to Dean. She explains that the FBI sent her because she can understand his psychology. Eleanor says, "I can understand you, but killing people is not the solution. Please surrender. I promise you'll receive treatment." Dean remains silent for a moment, then says that he hates all humanity. According to him, people are destroying the world with noise, pollution, and chaos, and he is simply cleaning it. He says he has nowhere left to go because everywhere he looks, there are humans.
Then he says something else. "I'm going to end my life. If you promise that after my death my body will be cremated, then I can surrender." Helplessly, Eleanor agrees. But just then the sound of police sirens is heard, and Dean believes Eleanor has betrayed him. Furious, he strikes Eleanor hard, knocking her unconscious. He ties her up and then goes outside and starts firing at the police. One officer after another begins falling. Backup teams arrive, and the situation becomes even more dangerous. Inside, tied up, Eleanor tries to reason with him. "Let me go. I can stop everyone. I can save you." But Dean is now completely out of control. He starts setting explosives, planning to blow up the entire team. Eleanor makes one last attempt to calm him down, but when everything fails and Dean activates the explosives, she somehow frees herself and attacks him, biting deeply into his neck, injuring him badly. This shocked Dean. Without saying a word, he runs away from there. A little later, Eleanor frees herself and informs the team about everything. Together, they begin chasing Dean deep into the forest. There, they finally find him, injured and weak. The police ask him to surrender, but Dean once again raises his gun, and this time, the entire force opens fire together. And with that, the terrifying killer of the 31st night, Dean's chapter, finally comes to an end. After the case is closed, the FBI warns Eleanor to stay silent about the encounter.
According to protocol, criminals are supposed to be interrogated, not killed immediately. In return, she is offered a position as an FBI analyst. At first, Eleanor refuses, but when she is told that disciplinary action could also be taken against her for continuing the investigation without permission, she places one condition. She says that Lamarck should be honored because he truly deserves that respect. The authorities agree, and Eleanor accepts the deal. After the case, Eleanor becomes famous in the media, but in her heart, only one thing keeps echoing: Lamarck's words and guidance, which she will always remember. And friends, with that, this story comes to an end. This story teaches us that the darkness inside a person's mind can be far more dangerous than the gun in their hands. Sometimes the real battle is not against criminals, but against the broken thoughts and pain growing inside them. If that pain is never understood, it can turn into destruction for others. And the biggest truth of all, not every villain is born evil. Sometimes life itself turns people into monsters. So, friends, before judging someone, it is important to understand their story. Otherwise, it won't take long for another Dean to be created. So, friends, if you enjoyed this story, then please like the video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel Know the Story Global for more movie explanations like this. Your one subscription motivates me to keep bringing more stories for you. See you in the next video with another heart-touching story. Until then, take care of yourselves. Thank you.